The great news when you see that gentleman right next to me, no background, Armando. I think you're going to surprise people here in a second. Okay, is that like a Mr. Hand thing from South Park? Is that his name, Mr. Hand? Not Mr. Hand.
How to rotate it.
Okay,
I'll put it back up there. I haven't figured it out.
The counselor, the guy with the big head that goes, okay, marijuana's bad, okay. That's when I see K, I always think of that. On the show today, first of all, happy Friday again. Cheers to all of you. You made it through another week. It ain't easy, especially in today's world, unless you're part of the privileged, in which case I'm happy for you. For the rest of the people out there who don't enjoy I don't know what happened there. And here we are talking Warriors. What's going on with the Warriors? Well, they got a new draft pick. They might even have two that makes the roster this coming season. We're going to evaluate the roster itself. Armando Lara is obviously going to share his insights and analysis. How you doing, brother? Good to see you.
Doing good, man. I'm pumped. We pumped to discuss with the chat what everybody thinks about where the Warriors are going and their direction, and just see what the Friday night chat thinks, man. I've been pumped for this all week, ever since Tuesday. I've been looking forward to it.
Beautiful. I want to give you a quick pat on the back, a hand, because you were one of the folks advocating maybe the hardest for Morez Johnson Jr., who ended up being picked 9th. I don't think many people, certainly not a lot of the draft prognosticators, the mock draft folks. I don't know if any of them had Morez going ahead of Yaxel Lendeborg. You wanted him as that was your top pick. So kudos to you, sir. Your analysis proved sound, and we're going to talk about Yaxel. He said some interesting things. Again, we're going to evaluate this roster, and there are a lot of holes. There just are a lot of pieces to this puzzle that are missing, that shouldn't be missing, that the Warriors seem to not acknowledge is missing. And we'll talk about these holes and what the hell this team's going to do. We're powered by FanDuel. We're powered by Sunrun. Please partner with Sunrun. Become a solar-powered Golden Dazer with Sunrun. Support the program. Support yourself. The program itself. We got a new multimedia element. Anytime Yaxel Lendeborg's name is uttered, we'll play that in a second. It's Friday. You ain't got no job, or maybe you do have a job. You certainly ain't got shit to do. And we call this happy.
When keeping it real goes right.
Good to be real sometimes.
You gotta start acting more like me and my team.
I keep it real.
Yeah, that's what we try to do anyways. You can follow Armando Lara on Threads and Instagram at Mando_man10. You can follow him on Twitter at Armando Lara, M as in Mary. You can follow me, Cyrus Saatsaz, on Threads and Instagram at Dog Wild, one word. On Twitter, it's at Surf Journalist. The program on both platforms at Golden Days Pod. And as I mentioned a moment ago, we're powered by not one but two title sponsors. First up, Sunrun, a very simple, easy, cost-effective measure for homeowners to get out of the grip that is the energy industry, aka PG&E and or whatever your electricity utility company is. Stop throwing your money away to these crooks. Be independent. Freeze the rates on your utility bill so they don't jack it up arbitrarily without any rhyme or reason other than, well, we just had to. You don't have to be a victim anymore. You can take control of the energy that powers your home. Be a Sunrun powered Golden Dazer. No upfront cost. It's literally free. Technically $1 a month. That's a promo for the next 6 months. $500 in your pocket as a bonus. What are you waiting for? The link is right there, right to my upper right, on my right. I think your left. It's also the link is also available in the description on YouTube, on our podcast page. Support yourself while supporting the program by becoming a Sunrun powered Golden Dazer. Click that link right there. And again, I would not partner with them if there was anything shady about this. If it sounds too good to be true, I get it. Most people, when they see a deal as that just is great, you kind of have reservations because most people are probably thinking, what's the catch? There's no catch here. I know that sounds crazy, but it's reality. So partner up, save money, put money in your pocket. Sunrun, sign up now and thank me later. Today's episode also brought to you by FanDuel, the official sports book of Golden Days and the Believe Network. Armando, I brought up these odds with the Hall of Famer Rick Barry yesterday. Side note, Rick, thank you so much again, sir. Always great content, especially yesterday. We covered a lot of subjects, and I want to repeat these lines to you, Armando, because you were studying this draft as I experience puberty right here. As you were studying this draft, I'm a little surprised that the bookmakers are favoring not AJ DeBonsa, not Darren Peterson, not Caleb Wilson, but Cam Boozer is the favorite to win Rookie of the Year this upcoming season. His odds are plus 240. Darren Peterson and AJ DeBonsa have the second best odds, plus 400 for both of those two players. Darius Acuff next up on the list for Rookie of the Year consideration by the odds makers. Darius Acuff Jr. plus 450. Caleb Wilson fifth plus 950. Mikael Brown Jr. Sixth, where he was also selected by the Brooklyn Nets, plus 1,500. And interestingly enough, we're going to round this out with 7 because 7th in terms of the best odds to win Rookie of the Year next year goes to Yaxel Lendeborg, the new Golden State Warrior. Also gives me a chance to introduce a new multimedia element every time we bring up Yaxel Lendeborg, a.k.a. Yaxel Foley. You're gonna see that a lot. That is one of my favorite memes ever. That is one of my favorite clips ever. Peter Griffin dancing to the Beverly Hills Cop theme song. Beverly Hills Cop, the movie with Axel Foley as the protagonist. Well, we've got Yaxel Foley on this. Going back to the Rookie of the Year odds, Armando, what are your thoughts on Cam Boozer being the actual favorite? And what are your thoughts on Yaxel Lendeborg as your new member of the Golden State Warriors? Let's start there, sir. How are you doing?
Cam Boozer was not on the top 3 for me. However, that does not mean that I don't think that he has an incredible upside in the NBA. I actually, our comp for him, Cyrus, was actually Jimmy Butler. I know it sounds crazy, but just in terms of like foul grifting ability, change of pace, and a guy that he's a serious savant. Like he knows where to just imagine like the way kind of like Luka can see the floor, like with size. And I really could see him excelling in a way that maybe guys a little less athletic or a little more athletic are not. So there's no reason to believe why he cannot be the Rookie of the Year next year. I think Memphis is going to be, they have a chance to surprise people. A lot of people don't realize that they actually drafted a guy last year, 7'4" wingspan.
Zach Edey, yeah.
Like that guy is legit.
Durabilities is one question mark. Would you agree with that with Edey? He just has to stay on the floor. That's the challenge.
Oh no, I'm not talking about Edey. I think Edey's terrible. I think the only reason. Yeah, I'm talking about their shooting guard. I can't remember his name.
Cedric Coward.
Yeah, Cedric.
Yeah, that dude is special. Yeah, the Grizzlies have a lot of young assets, and I'm guessing that's why Cam Boozer is the favorite for Rookie of the Year, because you look at Darren Peterson, who's on the Jazz. They have a lot of other players there. Maybe Peterson won't put up the numbers on that squad. And then you look at the top pick, AJ DeBonsa. He's on a team with some veterans. Bad coaches always defer to veterans. So for all we know, like if Anthony Davis and Trae Young are playing on that team, like AJ DeBonsa might sometimes see some DNPs, might see some minute reductions. I hope that's not actually the case, but we've seen it far too many times. So maybe Cam Boozer's the favorite for that reason. On Memphis, there doesn't seem to be any obstacles to him being the man, getting a lot of possessions, a lot of time with the ball in his hands. Would you agree or disagree? What are your thoughts on that sentiment?
We'll be watching them. It'll be curious to see what the dynamic will be with him getting, because he is going to be the man. He's going to be the usage because he has the college basketball effect. The fans are going to want to pay, the mainstream fans are going to want to pay to see him. So I wonder how that affects Ja Morant, like that stature on the team. And I just want to say more generally about this draft, that is an example of the grift is over in the NBA. Mark it down, 2026. There are now 18 to 22 players in this draft that are ready to play right now. They're starter level players. I don't care if they're 19, 20, whatever. They are starter level players. And the old man grift in this league that of guys just coming in and just playing occasionally in big games and getting contracts because of it, it's over. Like they're going to get run out. It's literally a shift. Mark it down. This draft has a chance to go down as one of the best drafts of all time, right along with the Kobe draft, right along with the Jordan draft.
Agreed.
And the next 2 drafts are really weak. We've already been looking at them. I mean, supposedly, we'll see. We're going to go to the under 19 in Portland this year. Nike, the Nike Hoop Summit. That's where the real basketball counts. Anyways, this has a chance to be the league is on notice. Like that's like literally everybody won except 2 teams in the draft. And the league, the losers of the draft are the old players in the league. They're the losers, and they're coming for them, man. The TikTok, it's night time.
Well, and when you brought up the older teams that they might be cooked, the oldest, I think, safe to say, the Golden State Warriors. First of all, who are the two bad draft picks? Is Mikael Brown Jr. one of them?
No. Everybody, this draft, it really everyone drafted correctly except 2 teams.
Who?
And but I'm just trying to hype it up before I give you my answer. And we were really impressed. Like they evaluated talent correctly in this draft. Mm-hmm. And Merez Johnson Jr. was the pick of the draft, like in terms of a sleeper pick. And Mikael, the guard. What's his last name? I get
Mikael Brown Jr.
Yeah, sometimes I have brain farts on this show.
That's all right. That's right. A lot of names, and that's not one of my strengths is names either. So I feel you on
that. Another just sleeper pick, just amazing, awesome, and just one after another, players were getting selected on the talent in the proper order, and we were so impressed by it. It was really cool to see. The teams that did not draft correctly, in our estimation, the ones that we have questions about, I'll put it that way, are the Atlanta Hawks and the Golden State Warriors. We believe we have serious questions about it. You can never say it's a bad pick because you just don't know how things are going to turn out. It's a draft. Like it is kind of random. But those are the ones that we have serious questions about, and I would love to discuss it. It would be super interesting to think about.
So you doubt Kingston Flemings, the guard out of Houston, selected by the Atlanta Hawks, and then you doubt the Yaxel Lendeborg pick by the Warriors at number 11. Let's start with the Yaxel. Why do you think that's a bad pick? I mean, the age thing is the obvious that most of his naysayers seem to bring up. They think the ceiling is far lower. But do you not think he's going to be able to contribute for the Warriors at all? What's your take?
So I don't have a take, Cyrus. I can't, and I have come on here and made lots of predictions, and I'm not prepared to make a prediction about it because I don't know, and I'm just being real about that. I have more questions. Like there's on balance, you have questions about picks. So the age thing, right? I think what I want to make a distinction for Warriors fans, that something to think about as they watch him play. It's not just when you say age is a concern. Like it's not just saying, hey, he lacks upside potential because he already is what he is. That's one issue with age. The other issue with age is actually how to evaluate his play last year. And that's what really concerned us when we watched him. So I talked about the way that I did not like Mara because he got protected with other wings. And when I really watched Michigan closely, the engine of that team was Merez Johnson. Merez Johnson, I'm kidding. I'm telling you, Friday night, that guy actually has a legit chance to be the next Draymond Green. Like he's literally that elite defensively, IQ wise and hustle wise and strength wise and physically gifted in terms of long arms. I actually think that pick, there's a reason why the Michigan coach is on the Mavs and he picked that guy over Yaxel and Mara. Like that guy's the engine, and that's what we saw. And he elevated everybody on Michigan. When he was off the court, guys are getting exposed. And the thing about Yaxel, you have to, it's not just like less potential maybe. It means, Cyrus, that you are 23 playing against 19-year-olds, right? And that means you're playing against guys that are less developed mentally and physically. And that should, you have to account for that when you're watching people play. So that was our concern. And I'm not, when he was 19, 20, he's playing in JUCO. Like that's where it's at with him. So it isn't just about less potential. He has a chance to be good. I mean, I would say Lendeborg, Yaxel's upside is like Aaron Gordon, right? Like that would be the highest I would say thing, but like that's going to take serious time and development, and he's going to get it, man. Oh boy, he's going to get hella playing time. He's definitely going to be
good.
Because the Warriors season is going to be over after the first month. And,
well, we're going to talk again. The schedule is not out yet. This is the first time in many years. This might be the most excited I've ever been when it comes to schedule releases. I know you love those. I've never blinked an eye at those things. It's like, because I know who they're going to play. The only question is when. But this year, because Jimmy Butler is not going to be available until January, maybe February. I mean, the usual recovery time for an ACL injury is 11, 12 months, but there's no hard science on that. Some players, hell, it takes like a year and a half. Other players, if they're miraculous healers, maybe it's 10 months or something like that, 9 or 10 months. But ballpark, it's 11 to 12 months. Jimmy Butler, we played the sound from an interview he just did the other day as part of some corporate event to announce a new uniform badge the Warriors are going to have, I'm guessing, to replace Rakuten. Side note, I absolutely despise that the Warriors are now the team of big tech. Like, that just makes me want to vomit, but that's a side note. I mean, the geography, unfortunately, San Francisco is tech city. I did not grow up like that. Silicon Valley existed when I grew up. San Francisco, though, was not like tech centric. It was just a city. It used to be called like an East Coast city on the West Coast. And now, all these tech yups have invaded and taken over, and the entire peninsula from San Francisco to San Jose is just tech. The invasion is real. And that includes this new sponsorship. Joe Lacob was out this announcement. Jimmy Butler was out this announcement. And Jimmy Butler was talking about how, and we played this clip already about, the ups and downs of recovering from a torn ACL. This is by far the most serious injury Jimmy's ever suffered in his career. And anyways, we don't know when he's going to come back. But the schedule, like you said, the first month could be just absolutely disastrous. You could see a start very similar to what the LA Clippers had last year, where I think they started 6-21. And the difference between the Clippers last year and the Warriors this year, the Clippers last year had a roster deep enough to come back and make the play-in. The Warriors do not have a roster deep enough where if they go into a 6-21 hole, even if Jimmy Butler comes back 100%, which, side note, almost never happens with any athlete coming back from an injury like that. You ease them in slowly, and then you hope for the best. Jimmy Butler coming back at 37 years of age, good luck with that. I mean, I hope for the best, but I'm not keeping my hopes up on that. But going back to the schedule, I'm fascinated because I want to see what this schedule looks like, especially when you consider that the last few years, especially, you've noticed with the Warriors schedule these considerable blocks of easy runs, right? Like the NBA schedule makers at times give the Warriors like these 2-3 month blocks where it's all Eastern Conference opponents, and you mix in some mediocre Western Conference opponents in there. And I'm dying to know if they're going to do that for the Warriors to start the season, because if they do, maybe the Warriors have a puncher's chance at staying relevant. But if they don't have a start like that, if they have a start to their schedule like last year, which was grueling, forget it. They're cooked. Like, there is no hope for this team at all. So I'm very much looking forward to that, Armando, so we can kind of break it down and see who they play. Anything you want to add in terms of the schedule before we start playing some sound and talking rosters?
I'm not done with Yaxel. If I could make two
I'm sorry, go ahead. My apologies.
I'm only on here once a week, so I just want to
Go ahead. Sorry.
But the other thing about Yaxel that is concerning to me, first of all, they were I just want to say, just on your schedule point, they were the 8th seed last year, fully healthy with Jimmy Butler in a league in which half the league was tanking. They were the 8th seed going into December, and like, the league is just going to be better. It has 18 more like legit players now, and they're a year older, and they don't have Jimmy Butler. So I don't really get the vision. And I want to address two things, and that leads me to this point about Yaxel, Cyrus. Everybody's saying he's ready now, right? Like, you guys said it on the show. Everybody's repeating it, like on ESPN, Zach Lowe, Tim Legler, all this BS.
But I think Armando, sorry to interrupt you, but I think they're saying that, and myself included, in context, meaning like relatively speaking, compared to other rookies. I think he's going to be more ready than a 19-year-old fresh out of college. Like that's what I think the gist is here. It's not that he's going to be like an all-star on day one. It's that compared to other rookies, he's going to be more ready. Is that fair or no?
No, it's not. That's exactly what I'm referring to.
Okay.
My question is, how do people actually assume that he's more ready than a 19-year-old? So
it's a guess. No one knows for sure. You're right.
If I could just draw this out here, I Friday night chat, you heard it here first. You need to ask the question. Don't fall into the NBA groupthink that assuming a 23-year-old is more ready to play NBA basketball than a 19-year-old phenom, like a 19-year-old athletic freak who's dominating at 19. These guys, this draft, Cyrus, was so interesting because these guys have been professional players since they were like 15. Like, they're getting paid millions now as 18, 19-year-olds, and they're paying people to professionally develop them and to work out in an NBA level manner. And this guy was playing JUCO, like, he was 23 playing against little kids. So I just want to alert people. I'm not saying he's not ready. I'm just saying I personally, and I'm only speaking for myself, am not making the assumption that he's more ready to be a role player. I'm not talking about some all-star, to be a role player with significant minutes on a winning team. Yeah, maybe he could throw a kid out. He could throw him out there and he'll play a significant role on a loser ass team that's not winning much.
Yeah.
We'll see. But is it going to be winning basketball? I'm not sure that he's more ready. I'm just saying the jury's still out. He's not necessarily, in my book, more ready than some of the guys drafted behind him. I think that's actually pretty short-sighted. It's not just because you're 20. Do you see what I'm saying, Cyrus?
I get it, but here's where I'll push back a tiny bit. The Cree in the chat, I think, states the obvious, which is that everything is just more developed the older you are. So a 24-year-old, just scientifically speaking, is going to be more developed, going to be more mature, going to be more physically ready than, say, a 19-year-old. And that's generally speaking, right? There are exceptions to all this. Every human being is different. My personal reasoning for Yaxel maybe being a better fit for the Warriors than, say, someone who's 19, 20 is Steve Kerr. Like that variable needs to be factored in for any of these discussions. And Steve Kerr has shown time and time and again, he has huge trust issues with a lot of these rookies, a lot of these young players. His patience runs very thin, very fast. He just yanks these guys instead of letting them play through their mistakes. And I think the odds of that are less with a 24-year-old Yaxel Lendeborg. Could be wrong with that too. And I want to play this soundbite. There's only one soundbite I'm going to play today, but it is Yaxel, so we can stay on this topic here. And Yaxel was asked at today. Was it today? I think it was today, where the press conference was held to announce the two new Warriors rookies. And Yaxel, this question and answer was not given while he was on the podium. This was after the fact. Anthony Slater was recording, and Yaxel talked about early conversations with Steve Kerr. And I'd love to get into this part of it, and obviously hear your follow-up. Anything else you want to add regarding Yaxel? Look, I'm not, like you said, none of us are soothsayers here. None of us are Nostradamus. Like, we have no idea what's going to happen in the future. Prognosticating, scouting a talent to me is the hardest thing in professional sports. Being able to evaluate someone who plays at the college level and imagining them at the NBA level, because that's what you have to do. You have to be able to imagine this human being and how they're going to perform at this much grander scale, which with far more difficult competition, right? And there's no exact science for this because for numerous reasons. Human beings are very complicated. It's damn difficult to predict how they're going to do in the future. There are some exceptions to this, obviously, right? Like Victor Wembanyama, a clear-cut exception. We were all fairly confident he was going to be badass from day one for obvious reasons. But it's very hard. And with Yaxel, he could turn out to be an absolute bust. Who the hell knows? But here was Yaxel today, talking again with the media, and he brought up his relationship with Steve Kerr, and I think this is going to be a very interesting a dichotomy here with the Golden State Warriors, because Steve Kerr loves his read and react. Steve Kerr loves split-second decisions. Steve Kerr hates the ball sitting in someone's hands if their name is not Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, or Draymond Green. And Yaxel is a bit of an ISO player offensively, and we'll talk about that in just a second in terms of whether or not Steve Kerr will have the patience for this. But here was Yaxel today talking about his relationship with Steve Kerr just a few days in after being drafted by the Golden State Warriors.
What have your conversations been like with Steve to this point?
Basically been about like expectations of what he expects out of me. He doesn't normally like play rookies as much. You know, he has history of that. But the way that the team is looking now, I'm gonna have a really good chance to play, maybe even start. So just having that like kind of hope definitely gives me extra motivation just to go out there and be one of the new guys that actually does that and actually comes in and builds reputation right away.
What do you think? I mean, you mentioned earlier trying to like kind of find one thing early on that's like the identity. What do you think, considering this roster, like you said, does have some need on the wing right now? What do you think that is for this team? I know last year they kind of had struggled with like extra ball handlers, so I'll probably just be that, like a secondary ball handler. I would love to be the guy that they trust to guard the best player on the other team. So I mean, that being a 3-and-D kind of player, but like secondary playmaker as well. So I feel like the different lineups will be different roles. So I mean, I'm willing to step into any single role that they need.
You look at the role that Draymond has played here. How much that?
So it finishes there, and that's Yaxel Lendeborg again. I think he's going to test Steve Kerr's patience a little bit. I also think it's hilarious that Yaxel and Stephen Curry have already been in touch. Stephen Curry has already added Yaxel, I believe, and Lejai Jones, the team's second-round pick. Side note, we could talk about Lejai a little bit, but Unsung Stranger in the chat brings him up, saying the fact that Lejai Jones has not been mentioned that much tells this person he may be very exciting to watch. Armando, my take on second-round picks is I never get excited about them. If they end up turning out to be something special, that's a bonus. That's great. But keep the expectations damn low for second-round picks. They might be special. They might be absolutely awful. Who the hell knows? I also didn't like the optics of Lejai and Yaxel standing next to each other for team pictures. Lejai Jones is supposed to be just 2 inches shorter than Yaxel Lendeborg. He looked more like 4 or 5 inches shorter. And again, these heights that you see coming out of college are almost always bullshit. So I question whether or not Lejai Jones is even 6'7". He looks more like 6'5". Remember Brandon Pajemski when he was drafted? Like, he's 6'5". No, it turns out he's like 6'4", maybe even 6'3 3/4 without shoes. With all that said, Yaxel Lendeborg, I think he's going to test Steve Kerr's patience a little bit. I also like the fact that he's already a solid defender, and the size that he brings with that to me, at a bare minimum, is a positive for what he can bring to the Warriors. Offensively, I have no clue what to expect. But defensively, I've heard enough people praise him, folks who watched him play in college at all his stops, and they sing his praises on the defensive side. I love defense in my basketball players, so at least that's a strength, coupled with his size. coupled with the fact he's 6'9", coupled with the fact the man has an incredible eye for talent. I hope we have time to talk about whether or not Aisha Curry at any point is ever going to be jealous. We got to talk about that at some point. Our boy Yaxel, he has an eye for talent, sir. Armando, I don't know if you've noticed that or even following along, but respect to the kid just for that. With all that said, what's your reaction?
So defensively, Yaxel, we don't know. We have no idea because he was being protected on a stacked team. So he's a 23-year-old playing against 19-year-olds on a fucking stacked team. So I'm just saying, like, we can't make any assumptions about.
Well, but Armando, real quick. Most of the guys Yaxel plays against in college are not 19, though. They're actually closer to 20, 21, some are 20, 22, because most of these guys are not lottery picks. Most of these guys are playing for the entirety of their college career. So I do think it's a little disingenuous to keep saying he's playing against 19-year-olds. Maybe he did that at JUCO when he was himself 19, but when he's playing as a 22, 23-year-old in college, most of these guys he's playing against are actually his age. I don't think they're 19. Am I wrong on that?
Well, I just meant more the real players that all got drafted.
Fair.
The real guys, the guys that actually matter. Not like the skinny 23-year-old guy who's going to be an accountant, not that guy. So but the other thing I wanted to say, the third point I wanted to make about Yaxel, like, so I made the point about, don't ask the question, is he actually more ready than an elite 19-year-old? And then secondly, what I want to say is everybody's saying he fits the Warriors win now mode.
Yes.
They were saying that on the draft, and this guy, and it's kind of shades to what you were saying a little bit with he's the guy Steve Kerr would actually play, and he kind of fits Steve Kerr's thing.
Hopefully.
My thing is, like, or he's on the timeline. I just want to say more like, what the hell is the Warriors timeline? Like, what a
great question.
Joke. Like, this guy's not on the Warriors timeline. My fucking my 7-year-old nephew is on the Warriors timeline. Like, the Warriors timeline is like 7 years out, man. They're not winning shit.
No.
And I'm here to tell you, like, whatever the thing is, the over under is next year, I'm betting the under. They have a chance to be the worst team in the league. And
Armando, if I have enough discretionary income to do so, I'm tempted, because FanDuel is not legal in California, I'm tempted to drive to Nevada to put down a massive bet on that under. To me, it is a borderline lock, because the bookmakers would, and that number is not out yet because the schedule is not out yet, and they're not going to post those OUs until at least we have a better idea of what these rosters look like. Free agency is going to start in a matter of days. We'll talk about that in just a second. But when those OUs come out, they always give the Warriors a favorable number. Same with the Lakers, because of the fan bases, right? Like, the bookmakers do not set these lines because of scientific reasons pertaining to the teams and athletes themselves. That's a part of it. But far more so is public sentiment. They set these lines. Friendly reminder for the people out there who aren't gambling consistently. These lines are set based off how the public is feeling about these teams and players. And the lines are set to hopefully get an even amount of bets on both sides. That's always the goal with these bookies and these odds makers. They want to set a line that creates balance in terms of bets placed on either side of the ledger. And because the Warriors have so many delusional fans, so many of these amateur type cheerleaders who were celebrating this team beating the Clippers in the play-in, side note, that game set this franchise back, I'd say, at least 2 years. You're talking about timeline. The Warriors winning that Clippers play-in game blew it up. There is no timeline anymore. There is no direction anymore. I feel like the only agenda that exists for the Warriors is, what does Steph want to do? That's it. That's all they're doing right now. It's just. It wouldn't surprise me if, like, there was some hidden camera that picked up Mike Dunleavy Jr. going, "Oh, you want to make a trade? Hold on, I got to call Steph and see what he thinks." It would not surprise me if literally every decision made is them kowtowing to Steph. Part of that is deserved. Part of that is batshit crazy. I don't care who the star player is. It's a team game. You don't just make every decision just to make that one dude happy. But that's what the Warriors are doing at this stage. That's what I think they're doing. And I also don't think there's a timeline at all, brother. I think that the Warriors right now are just floating. They're directionless. They've been directionless. This is sad.
Yeah. I don't really know who's in charge over there. Is there a plan? Is there a vision? Is the vision, as you're saying, just the Golden State Globetrotters to sell marketing for Steph Curry, to sell some kind of hope where they occasionally play big in big games? And they're like the whole year, they're like, just wait for us when we make the A seed. You don't want to see us in the A seed. And what is the actual plan here? I really think they need to look at the San Francisco Giants, man. Like, the Giants have sucked ass, and they have just been banking on Rich Peninsula fans to just keep showing up, but people are showing up with bags on their heads nowadays.
Are they really?
Yeah, and it, are these so-called Steph Curry basketball fans going to keep showing up when they suck ass? Like, I really think I don't really get what they're doing. So, the idea that he is some kind of like, they drafted a guy that is ready to play now and win now. A, I'm not even sure that that's true versus the other players they passed up on. And B, there's no winning now. The season's going to be over after the first month. So I really don't get it. And he's going to get a ton of playing time. And he has a lot of size. I love his wingspan. And I hope that he can bring it, man. I mean, I hope that he has a lot of developmental upside, for when they're ready to either trade him or be competitive in 5-7 years. I hope that's the case.
Real quick question, because Morez Johnson Jr. was your top pick in terms of who you had on your own, like if you had a mock draft and you had to say with the Warriors, you wanted Morez Johnson. You made that very clear, and in hindsight, him being selected as the first player out of Michigan by Dusty May, their former coach, who's now leading the Dallas Mavericks. Good look on you, sir. Again, but Morez Johnson Jr. was picked. So if not Yaxel, who would you have gone with the 11th selection?
Yeah, I personally would have, if there was a trade available, I would have traded down. And I would have targeted Carr, the guard. Amazing wingspan.
Who got him? Is it OKC? I forgot.
I can't remember right now. Someone in the chat.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, and then I definitely would have gone for Ament just at 11. I would have drafted him just for the
Knicks.
upside.
The Knicks got him.
The Lakers
with the 24th pick.
Got him. The Lakers.
Oh, but he got traded to LA, so the Lakers got him.
Yeah, and
Jesus.
And the other guy would have got down would have been my other sleeper pick with the injury concerns, and that is Quaintance. The center that's going to back up Wemby. Like that. That's a guy like you stash and you develop. They might fucking redshirt him for the first year. Like, that's the kind of thing I would have done. And there was a lot of players, picked after him that I think would have fit their timeline better. I think the whole idea that their timeline is now is a total lack of self-awareness, self-recognition. They're one of the few teams that lack self-awareness, unless they're fully aware that they're just selling Steph Curry nostalgia, and it's a marketing ploy.
Absolutely right. By the way, AC in our chat saying hopefully Lening, Stephen Curry's new footwear brand, has a tree planting scheme that can reduce Stephen Curry's salary. Yeah, good one there. Evanistics liked it. I mean, look, if a writer in the Taylor Sheridan universe likes your writing, I would take that as a massively huge compliment. So bravo. And okay, well, and side note on that front, so your recommendation would have been trading down. There is speculation And unfortunately, the guy reporting this is that Brett Siegel guy with Clutch Points. I will never in a million years trust that dude. He never breaks stories. All he does is just creatively write shit to make himself sound like someone who has sources and is in the know. Clutch Points is not a bastion of journalistic integrity. Clutch Points is not even like a real, like they make memes. And I know they're on YouTube and do all sorts of shit now, but they are not journalists. And Brett Siegel is not in the know for anything. So take it for what it's worth. Brett Siegel reported, and who knows, maybe this is true, but again, I'm not trusting that dude with a 10-foot pole, but he reported that the phone call Mike Dunleavy Jr. was on when the Warriors were on the clock, and I brought this up with Rick yesterday, Armando, that the one peculiar aspect of that whole drama with Joe Lacob throwing his hands up in the air, looking flustered, was the amount of time that it took for the Warriors to make the Yaxel pick. Each team at that point had 5 minutes to make their selection, and the Warriors milked nearly that entire thing. I do remember that vividly, going, what the hell is taking so long? And then those clips came out where you saw, again, Joe Lacob kind of being upset, Dunleavy on the phone trying to dissuade him. And supposedly, according to Brett Siegel, the phone call, the trade that was being discussed, and who knows if Lacob wanted a trade or if Lacob wanted Yaxel, and obviously it would be vice versa then with Mike Dunleavy Jr. for this situation. Supposedly, the trade being proposed was from OKC, and OKC was not offering the number 12 pick. OKC had the 12th pick and the 17th pick. OKC also allegedly had Adai Mara atop their draft board. That's who they really wanted, and they wanted a swap picks. Not swap, I'm sorry. They wanted to get the Warriors' number 11 pick so that they could get Adai Mara, but they weren't offering their own number 12 pick. So what OKC was essentially offering, if this report is correct, huge if, is OKC reached out to the Warriors and said, hey, give us your number 11 pick. We'll give you our number 17 pick and a future draft pick. I think a future first. I don't know what year that was proposed in. Of course you're going to say no to that. That's a dumbass trade. Well, I don't know. Is it a dumbass trade? Would you have said yes to that? Because I would have said yes if it was 11 for 12. 11 for 17, hell to the no. I'm not giving OKC the number 11 and number 12 picks while I'm dropping 6 spots so that I can pick up another guy like, how many years in the future. What are your thoughts on that report?
The offer was another first-round pick in the future. That was
correct, I believe. I'll try to find it right now real fast so I can get the details. But yeah, I think that's what it was, though. It wasn't a future second. It was like another future first. But again, first of all, it's OKC, so you're almost never going to get like a good pick, right? They're going to be good for a damn long time. So if it's one of their own draft picks, that thing could be like 27, 28. I mean, that's what I'm going to personally expect for I don't know how many years in the near future. But
yeah, I guess not. The guy that I would have, say they don't trade Cyrus, the guy I would have drafted instead. So I personally, if Steve Kerr's not my coach, I would have drafted Amen. But the thing is, they could have drafted Steinbach, and I'm a big fan of Steinbach. I think he fits their developmental timeline, the 5 to 7 years out, and he actually, I'm not convinced. He might actually be a more ready-to-play now player than Yaxel. I'm just saying I don't know. Like, I don't get the assumption that Yaxel is just more ready now than him. So I don't really understand. It's possible. I could be totally wrong. I'm just saying it's an equal bet. Steinbach's really good. He's an amazing rebounder, and I really like his feel for the game. I would have drafted Steinbach at 11, not Yaxel. I don't really get what they're thinking. So it's not like I'm just criticizing for criticizing's sake. I actually would have done something differently. So
well, if you wanted Hannes, if you really thought Hannes Steinbach would have been a better pick than Yaxel Foley, not Yaxel Lendeborg, Yaxel Foley. Then yeah, they probably should have traded down. Even if but again, the other part of it that would have been a bad look on the Warriors' part is giving one of your conference rivals who just won the title a year ago, who almost won the title again this past year, both the 11 and 12 picks. That would have been another drawback. And that's the only trade that I've seen in terms of what could have been out there. There's always the possibility that you want to trade down, but you can't. So you're saying with the number 11 pick, regardless, like let's say there is no deal, there was no deal out there to trade down. You would have gone with Hannes Steinbach or Nate Ament at number 11 over Yaxel?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts real fast on the fact that big Al Horford, big old Al Horford, had his contract torn up? He was due for a player option to make $6 million. He was undoubtedly going to sign that. Like there was no doubt in my mind that the Warriors were going to be stuck with this guy at least for another year. My guess here, what I'm thinking happened here is Al Horford's representation went to the Warriors and said, we're opting out because we have another deal with another team for 2 years, $14 million. We'll stay. Can you match it? And the Warriors stupidly did. That's my guess for what happened, regardless of whether or not there actually was another offer out there, or maybe there was. I don't know. Me personally, I let him walk. He's 40 years old. He played half the season last year. Those 4 made threes in that Clippers game, again, set this franchise back 2 years. He is my least favorite Golden State Warrior, arguably ever. I don't like Al Horford. I'm really annoyed that he's with this team for 2 more years. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a Udonis Haslem situation. You know, they like the culture. They like the media presence. They just like he's good looking and he makes the fans feel good. Like, I don't know what, it's not a winning move. Like, yeah, it is. It wasn't last year. Last year, he was awful in the Celtics in the playoffs. He could not be on the court against the Knicks. That's why the Celtics went out the way they did. They were down like 0-3 to the Knicks in the second round. Everybody forgets that. They all think it's Jason Tatum's injury. No, it wasn't. They were already down 0-3 to the Knicks. And they watched, the front office of the Warriors watched that playoff performance and thought Al Horford would be a contributor. And for some reason, people watched that entire season last year and still think that this guy can contribute to a winning ball in 2026. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, they had to rebuild his ass for 6 months, deadlifting and hip thrusting to get him on the court to play one effing game, and he could barely hold up for that one game. And you know, it's all good. I mean, it's all good. It's not
all good. Armando, it's not all good. This reeks. I don't get this at all. And again, now you have him for 2 more years. The good news is $7 million per season is not breaking the bank necessarily, but it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. And what, I want to, because again, every time we do a show, Armando, the clock just flies. I couldn't find what that speculative trade was that supposedly the Warriors were contemplating with OKC. I couldn't find the details on that. I'm gonna keep looking, but I want to bring up 2 quick things here. One is when we talk about what the direction of the Warriors are and what the hell they're doing. I'm going to share this on my screen. The podcast audience, I'll explain what this is. This is the Warriors homepage. And you see this dumbass chat bot right here. Let me X that out. I hate chat bots. I really do. And look what's right at the top of the page. Golden State Warriors season tickets. Your team is not doing well when you have season tickets available. Are they expensive as F-bomb? Yes. Are they available? Yes. I think this is what their biggest agenda is. And side note, any team who has this as your biggest focus and not the product on the court is going the wrong direction. But this is what I fear is the Warriors' biggest focus right now. How the hell do we sell out our arena? And when I say sell out, I don't mean actually have it filled. I mean get the money for those seats, because what's going to happen this season is they're probably going to get just enough season tickets sold. They'll keep selling this facade of, dude, we got Steph back. It's Steph, bro. And then we got Jimmy Butler, who, side note, I don't think he's going to get traded now either. So you're not going to have Jimmy Butler for over half the season. When you talk about this potential abysmal start that the Warriors may experience, a lot of that is because Jimmy Butler will not be available. And if they don't trade him, that's just a massive gaping hole on your roster for months. But ultimately, again, You can convince these trend-seeking tech bro D-bags, look, bro, Stephen Curry, come to the trendy scene. Vibe City, bro, chase. Like that, I think, to me, is the primary agenda here, not winning. Your thoughts?
Again, Sai, you say stuff and people criticize you, but the Warriors themselves have said exactly what you just said to our faces. Joe Lacob, after Kuminga got traded, went on the Tim Kawakami podcast, and I don't want to quote it because it's starting to be time, but I'm just paraphrasing now. We have to convince the fans to come back and buy season tickets for next year. That was what he said in explaining why they wanted Porzingis to go. He literally said that. So like you're saying stuff and people criticize you, but they're saying it. Draymond said it again. Cue it all up, man. It's right there. And the Golden State Globetrotters.
and we're gonna end the show on this note. Actually, first of all, real quick, what the F is fashion in our chat asking, has there been any word about what this coaching staff is going to look like? Nope. We still don't know who the lead assistant is. We don't know how many assistant coaches there are. The only thing that I feel confident saying is we know Nick Kerr is going to be one of the assistants. We know Chris Weems is going to be an assistant because Chris Weems used to be a private basketball tutor. And tutor's not the right word. Like a private coach for Joe Lacob's kids. When they were, or the one that was going to playing ball in Stanford, Chris Weems was like his personal coach, and that's why he's on the coaching staff. A weird nepotism is not just a blood thing; it's a who you know thing. So Chris Weems, I don't think is going anywhere because he's on this staff for nepotistic reasons. I have no clue. Again, the only name that's been uttered is Willie Green, but that has not been set in stone. So no discussion yet on that front. But the roster itself, this is where we're at. And June 29th is a huge date because June 29th is when we're going to find out whether or not teams and players opt into these option years, right? Like, for example, DeAnthony Melton. We're going to find out by June 29th whether or not he's going to opt into that veteran minimum or if he's going to become an unrestricted free agent. Draymond Green still has not opted in. He's due a player option this coming season for $27.7 million approximately. And we don't know if he's going to sign a 2-year deal. We don't know if he's just going to opt into that thing. We have no idea yet. June 29th is a huge day. And of course, we're going to go live to talk about that. One thing that really concerns me as we break this down, Money Checkup in the chat saying Yaxel Lendeborg, a.k.a. Yaxel Foley. This is a great worry of mine, is that Steve Kerr is going to do Steve Kerr things. And that includes looking at Yaxel, looking at Guy Santos, and deciding they play the same position. And just like every other reason to that he's come up with in his own head, these are all arbitrary, subjective reasoning that he's applying for his decision making. He might literally in his head go, but they play the same position. I can't play better than them. And this is where we're going to be at, Armando. That's a great fear of mine. What are your thoughts? Great point. I think in evaluating Yaxel, it's always about combos, straight from the horse's mouth, as Steve Kerr said. Yaxel might be moving from a situation where he's playing next to Mraz Jr. and Mara, just ultimate size, to a situation where he's playing with 3 guards as the power forward. So if that's going to happen, then yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. Is his defense going to look good in that situation? I don't know. A lot of people's defense doesn't look good in that situation because you're trying to cover for more guys. If you're playing with Draymond, with Guy Santos, now we're talking. I like that. I like Guy Santos, Yaxel, and Draymond. I would love to see them give it a shot. Maybe that would actually produce some wins. Maybe that would result in less injuries. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just that's the kind of questions I'm asking. Yep. I'm very concerned about that. By the way, Kyle L is asking, what is this Yaxel Foley reference? Beverly Hills Cop, man. The protagonist, Eddie Murphy, Axel Foley. Add a Y to that, it becomes Yaxel, although I think it's pronounced Yaxel. And in case you've never known this before, Peter Griffin, he's dancing to the Beverly Hills Cop theme song. That's what the Yaxel reference is. Here is the roster as we start to wrap it up, because I know you got to go, brother, and I don't blame you. 1 hour is plenty of time for a show. Here is what we know for certain with the Golden State Warriors in terms of their team next year. Again, you have to have a minimum of 14 players signed. 15 is the max. You can dip to 13 for up to 3 weeks in the season. The NBA, I think, gives teams somewhere between 19 and 21 days, calendar days, to dip below 14 and not be penalized. Here are the current players signed by the Warriors. Stephen Curry, that's 1. Jimmy Butler, that's 2. Draymond Green, we'll say he's going to be back, but we have no effing idea whether he's going to opt into that player option or get a new deal, but that's 3. Moses Moody's under contract, probably not going to play, but that's 4. Brandon Pajemski, 5. Guy Santos, 6. Will Richard, 7. Al Horford, 8. Yaxel Foley, 9. That's it. So Kristaps Porzingis could be 10. I think that would be one of the dumbest moves ever if they sign him for anything more than, say, $5 million. I think $5 million is my number for whether or not that's costing you too much. Are you pro or anti Porzingis for this coming season?
Anti.
Me too. I think that would be one of the, for the simple reason, durability. And I just think he's not that great of a player anyways. But he's not under contract yet. We don't know what's going to happen. Okay, so let's say they sign him. That's 10. This second round pick, Jones, if they keep him, 11. Are there any players from last year that you want coming back? LJ Cryer, Quidden Post, Nate Williams, any of those guys?
No, they just find
Charles Bassey.
Can always find G Leaguers. It's not that big of a deal.
I like Bassey. I think I would prefer Bassey over Porzingis, first of all. But this is going to be the debate that the Warriors have. And we mentioned all the names for prospective free agents, but this team basically has somewhere between 4 and 5 holes that they need to fill. And this team is currently constructed. They're going to suck ass this coming year. They're old and they don't fit well together. They have no wings. Yaxel is I think the only wing on this team, like the only real like 3, like small forward, unless Guy Santos, I guess we can call a wing too. So they have 2 wings who are healthy and active for this coming season in a league dominated by wings. It's not a good look. Not a reason to be optimistic.
Yeah, I mean, Dunleavy literally said it. I'm not worried about his age because he's not 38. So does that mean they're worried about the 38-year-olds? So later on, when they get injured, are they going to say, oh, bad luck? So I don't really get what they're thinking. Like, of course, these guys are not going to play that much, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's kind of.
What do you think? As we wrap it up here, Simon too brings up other teams asking, did you guys talk about the LaMelo Ball trade? We brought it up on yesterday's show with Rick Barry. Armando, do you have any thoughts on that? A two-part question. Any thoughts on the LaMelo trade? And what do you think's going to happen with Kuminga? Speaking of June 29th, like, what are the Hawks going to do? Because if the Hawks decide we're good, he's going to the Kings. I am almost certain of that. And the Kings would excite me as a team, side note, if they in fact followed through on that and suddenly had a lineup where Darius Acuff Jr. and Jonathan Kuminga are getting real minutes and the Warriors have to see that team 4 times a year. That's going to be some crazy shit. What do you think is going to happen? And what are your thoughts on the trade yesterday?
Yeah, I need to take a little bit closer analysis with the Wolves. I don't want to speak on it because I don't know if they're done, right? Like it's not done. They might be trying to do other moves. Yeah, with the Hawks, I think they're another team that's not fully self-aware. And I do have some information. I can't share where I got it from, but I don't think that situation is for long.
Kuminga and the Hawks?
He's fully in control there.
Okay. And
I think there's a lot of politics going on. And
look at you with sources with the Hawks. Look at you expanding your
No,
media.
It's not me. I'm hearing it like third hand. So
Whatever. It's funny though. I love it. We'll see what happens. It's exciting. The NBA is exciting. It's a never-ending reality show. You've got your own program where you talk about this stuff as well. It's called Spreewell Was Right. And real quick, I want to add my 2 cents to that LaMelo trade. The Timberwolves went from a team that I legitimately feared and respected. Now, maybe they'll be entertaining. You're no longer a title contender. Like you're not giving away a Julius Randle and Naz Reid. And unless you fill one or both of those holes with equivalent talent, you went from a team that owned the Nuggets, and now you're a team that has a guy that everyone's afraid of driving, and a guy that can't keep it in his pants, and that immaturity is going to represent your backcourt. Are you out of your mind? Good luck with that. Tim Connolly's grossly overrated in my book. I've never understood why this guy gets the reverence he does. That goes for a lot of people in the NBA, but I don't think that trade's going to work out very well. I could be wrong on that. All I'm saying is LaMelo Ball was not the guy that I thought represented what the Timberwolves needed to take that next step. This was a step down for them in my book, but that's just me. Any final thoughts? I'll shut up.
No, man, it's going to be exciting. I hope this Friday night chat is pumped. Get pumped for the NBA. Like, that's where the joy of this sport is. It's not right now with the bubble situation of the Warriors. Like the Warriors media, they're just counting on you to just pay attention to their team, to think like Will Richards is a guy and all this kind of stuff. Like the joy of this sport is that there's 18 to 22 guys that just entered this league and are ready to play right now. And they're going to be starter level players contributing to winning right now.
Sir.
And the old man grift is not for long. These guys are out the league starting next summer.
Well, what you just said is a huge reason why expansion needs to come now. This league is so deep that we're actually going to be missing. Although I guess the Warriors will become that team, sadly, like the basement dweller, the team that everyone else kicks around. But the NBA is missing a few of those. That's what expansion teams are for. It is time to bring those up. Yeah, I guess what are you doing this weekend? What are your plans? Anything?
Gonna take the car out, do some cruising. Beautiful weather, 71 degrees in San Francisco. Gorgeous. Can't wait to get out there.
Have a great weekend, not just you, but everybody. Great show, by the way. I thought this was a good one. One more time, Yaxel Foley. You're gonna get tired of that, or maybe you won't. Maybe you'll love it every time I play it. But are we done, Armando? Is that it? Great show.
Yeah. Thanks, Si. Love you, chat. You guys are good.
I-80 crossover this weekend. Bye-bye.